Good morning, class. How have you been? I think I'll continue with you guys what I have left yesterday. We're going to understand what a non-profit organization is all about, and also the very definition of non-profit organization, why a non-profit organization, why in India, so on and so forth. We're going to discuss threadbare about this. So when the moment I speak of non-profit organization, I'm sure you understand an organization that is going to exist for not making any profits. This will be very surprising for entrepreneurs like you, young future entrepreneurs like you, managers like you. You're wondering why at all somebody should start a businesses for not making any profits. There are people who are interested, apart from money, they are interested in human being. That's the most interesting thing about this non-profit organization. This is not necessarily a government run. We do call it as an NGO, non-governmental organization, but this has nothing to do with the government. There are like-minded people who are interested in human beings, interested in their lives, interested in their sufferings, interested in their upbringing. They are the ones who actually start this kind of a movement called non-profit organization. We have quite a many non-profit organizations in the world. It can be a daycare center, or it can be a school, or an hospital, or a college, maybe an environmental protection group, or Scouts for Girls. It can be anything. All these institutions are non-profit organizations. What is the role of this non-profit organization? Non-profit organization consists of three important components for its existence. The first is the government that provides them all the necessary licenses and also allows them to function. The other one, by the virtue of making profits, their organization, they support this one. The third sector are the people who silently try and help these institutions. But now coming, what are the role of a non-profit in the society? The most important thing is, let us understand India. India is the second largest populous country in the world and the seventh largest in terms of area occupation. It spreads over 29 states and more than 10 union territories, speaking thousands of languages, spread from right Kanyakumari to Kashmir and the other two ends of Arabian Sea and West Bengal. This country is beautiful and at the same time it's very complex. Little over 1.38 billion population. And how do you think any government can suffice everyone's living? It's humanly impossible. That is where exactly the role of non-profit organization come into existence. These non-profit organizations comes with a baggage of not making profits. At the same time comes with a kind of bliss and happiness called satisfaction. I have known quite a number of people who have been into this and who have done a fabulous job in running a non-profit institutions. Everything starts with a thinking. You'll be surprised that when somebody starts businesses, the first thing and the foremost thing in their mind is about making money. Naturally, they make a product or services. The buyer gets the happiness of that particular product or services. In turn, the creator gets the profits. That is how the whole economy or the business works. But here, returns are only internal happiness. A person's internal happiness is the only return. And there are quite an amount of huge market is left there to address for these people. Unlike the private sector, when I use the word market, I'm talking about potential users in a given place. When we say market, not everybody in the entire country, the whole populace are addressed for all their needs. And it's not possible even for the government to address every nook and corner of this country. It's not possible. So it is there who people emerge as heroes who start off an organization to address those downtrodden, maybe underprivileged. They have needs, and those needs are not met, and that is these people come as a savior. I have been interacting with quite a number of non-profit organizations. The one I've been interacting is the National Association of Blind, which is in Bangalore. And this institution is a financial institution where they try and take care of the people who are blind. The entire inmates in that particular house are blind, and this institution takes care of them, giving them the necessary vocational training, putting them into education, practicing into various programs, ultimately making them livable. That's the most important thing. I've seen quite a family giving up on these people, but these institutions have not. They have taken care of them fabulously well. Now, should we be talking about little on why non-profits? I think that's where the whole thing starts. At times, there's an understanding that, let it be historical and economical or political theories, why non-profit exists today. One is about the market failure. This is about there is a sector of society where they've been either ignored or they've been negligent. Also, it talks about those people who have become completely invisible in the eyes of the governments. This theory is based on the premise that enough people desire a service or program to attract for non-profit organization to provide such services, particularly the third one. Also, the fact that an organization exists without profit motive instills trust in the constituents. When you see somebody who says that he's not going to make profits, but he's going to serve people, it's not only about that institution, it's about the image of that person and the kind of respect, increase many folds. You have to see such people to believe what the whole thing is all about. The second, when we talk about, is about the failure of the governance. Irrespective, we are the largest democracy in the world. But I said that India is a too big country. It's impossible for any government that come into position to address all the sections of the society. It may not be possible. May not be maybe no representations. So here what happens, the government will not provide a service because of high cost, either high cost, or there is a limited interest in the public. If there is not a large presence of constituents demanding a response from the government, let us say, the government may not be acting on that, are they very unlikely to act. It is that time a small group of individuals create these kind of non-profit organizations to provide mutually desired services rather than trying to convince a majority of the citizens support such efforts. There is also a cultural resistance by huge governments. Citizens are skeptical about the government being involved in all aspects of community life. I think sometimes even we are also equally responsible for not inviting governments to play a role in our living. That is also a major possibility. Why the profits? It's about historical theories also says that there are the communities in America. They were formed well before the actual governments were formed. Here, the communities, people of groups like-minded, they all came together and they found solutions for their problems and they started living together. That time they never wanted any interference from anybody, be it a government or anybody. They didn't want any interference. Those were the times even the religion also provided a strong foundation for charity and altruism through scriptures of the religion. And that sense of duty taught them how to live without any support of any so-called governments. I am just talking to you guys on why nonprofits. When we talk in terms of political science theory, these nonprofit organizations provide an avenue for people's participation, or we call it as a civic participation. People are able to assemble and work towards a common goal with an intent to help public. Their very purpose is to benefit the common man. And also, it's an outlet for people to provide the pluralism and solidarity where they live in. And also, if you look at the Lester Salomons, he talks about nonprofit organizations. He says it provides an opportunity for people to provide programs and services to the community. Oftentimes, it so happens nonprofits are formed or expanded to react to a community need not being met by the government, which I've already mentioned. But these people are very strong and they have an ability to react to a specialized need or a request by a small group of citizens. Now let's understand. We are in the midst of a pandemic, and the World Health Organization is trying to understand how do they curtail this and keeping a tab on the world, the kind of emergence that is happening. You must be completely surprised, or you must be aware that the second largest donor to this World Health Organization is none other than Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a person, is a CEO, is a billionaire, whatnot. But look, he has a sense of commitment towards people, towards community, towards region, towards the upliftment of the downtrodden. While the governments are saying, or maybe they are not in a position to help, but this person with that kind of an intense feeling towards the betterment of people has come out to help. So at times it so happens, there are certain specialized needs which are not or may not be in a position to be helped by the government, but the people, group of people, will be in a position to help them. Now, when we talk about value guardian, I'm talking about members of a community can take actions in an attempt to change the community they live in. Short span of time. They don't need a long rope. They can do it much quickly. The decisions are made much faster. The actions take form the developing local livelihood. It could be a watch program or developing a large scale of an organization that respond to world relief efforts, something like UNICEF. During World War, we have seen many such organizations which helped people, particularly like Red Cross Society. So it is always quite interesting to understand why non-profit exists. We always believe that only the poor, not necessarily. There are many reasons why a non-profit exists. It's about also drawing people's attention towards societal issues. Non-profit organizations make it possible to identify a significant social and political concerns to give voice and represent people, points of view of people, and also to integrate these perspectives into their social and political life. So I can keep talking to you guys for hours together, but I felt with a point I thought I will stop about telling why non-profits. Since I lived in US for quite some time, let me talk about that. In America, the non-profit can be seen as a bridge between the capitalism and democracy. The rich and the richer, poor and the poorer. You can see the divide. Not necessarily in the US, it happens across the globe. These non-profit organizations develop a sense of community, sense of belonging among the citizens by providing a means to engage in social welfare. I was going through an article about the tsunami while the past president Bill Clinton was traveling all around the globe to support people. He happened to be in Malaysia, where he was guided through the whole thing by an young man. Then he listened about his livelihood. He said he is married with children. And Bill Clinton got to know that he had lost all his daughters and sons in tsunami. But he saw this person and his wife tirelessly working towards the relief of people. Bill Clinton, and when I read it, it was really heart-touching. Somebody loses kith and kin and is nobody to take care of, and suddenly he's in the midst of this world all alone with just wife and both of them for each other. But he has gone out to help people. This mind is something fabulous and fantastic. I think a time will come when I think most of us will have similar kind of mindsets where when we are at loss, we understand somebody's loss, but that should not be the case. That should not be the case at all. And even without losing anything, we should be in a position to appreciate people's sufferings. I think I will stop at this point, and probably we can continue in the next sessions about how do we run these institutions. Running a profit institution, we have a system. But running a non-profit institution needs, apart from system, you need a lot of commitment because you don't earn profits, but you have to drive very similar to that of a profit organization, your energy. So I think we talk in depth about that in the next sessions. Good luck and have a wonderful day. God bless all of us. Bye.